Today, we discuss the silent power of no contact in relationships, particularly those with an avoidant partner. It's a curious game indeed, one in which silence itself becomes your most formidable piece on the board. Good evening, or morning, depending on where you find yourself. I am delighted to share a bit of insight on a subject that, for many, dances precariously between heartbreak and transformation. No contact. You see, avoidant personalities are like elusive butterflies. They flutter near, then dart away when a net is cast. For them, closeness often feels like a trap, while for you, distance feels like an echoing void. The puzzle, then, is how to navigate this peculiar dance without losing yourself in the process. I recall a story, years ago, about a friend named Alan. Alan was a fervent romantic, and to his utter dismay, found himself smitten with a woman who displayed all the classic signs of avoidance. I watched them waltz about each other, 2 steps forward, 10 steps back. His messages piled up in her inbox, unanswered. His phone calls went straight to voicemail. She would show up occasionally, just to remind him she existed, and vanish again. The poor fellow twisted himself into knots, searching for reasons, analyzing every breath, every syllable, as if deciphering a code. But to no avail. His heartbreak was a slow bleed. Then he stumbled upon the concept of going quiet, completely still, like a deep, calm lake at dawn. A radical idea to a man like Alan, who believed communication was the cornerstone of all relationships. But he tried it, against all his instincts. No calls, no texts, no gentle knocks on her digital door. At first, this new silence was excruciating, akin to swallowing broken glass with each passing day. Then, a curious thing happened. His mind cleared, and with it a new sense of power emerged. He realized that the game was never about forcing someone to respond, but allowing space for clarity to form. Now, for the avoidant partner, silence can be quite unsettling. After all, they rely on the anxious party to maintain contact, to keep the chase alive. But this silence, this no contact, becomes a mirror, reflecting their own hidden fears right back at them. They might wonder, "Where have you gone? Why aren't you chasing me?" The dynamic shifts. Ironically, your retreat compels them to question their own behavior. So why is no contact a game changer for avoidant relationships? It's not about punishment or manipulation. Rather, it is about redrawing the boundaries that have been eroded. It is about re-establishing your self-worth and letting the avoidant person confront the void they often unwittingly create. The quiet highlights the disparity between your giving nature and their hesitance to receive. You might think of it as a balancing of scales, a quiet negotiation wherein one party finally chooses to step back, effectively saying, "If you want me, show me." Consider it an emotional holiday, an unexpected silence that forces introspection. In that forced calm, the avoidant mind might awaken to the realization that absence is more penetrating than a flurry of words. Indeed, the greatest revelations can emerge in the hush of an unanswered phone. My dear viewer, the wonder lies not just in how the other person reacts, but in how you transform when you stop overextending your heart. In the hush of your new boundary, you discover the echoes of self-respect. Like Alan, you may find that letting go of the chase unveils a path to self-care and self-love that was lost in the frenzy. Now, no contact is not a universal hammer for all relationship woes. Please don't misunderstand me. But for those entangled with an avoidant partner, it can be a lens that magnifies both your needs and theirs. It grants them space to wrestle with their own avoidant tendencies, and grants you the dignity of no longer pleading for crumbs of attention. In summation, dear friends, if you ever feel like you're drowning in an ocean of ambiguity, consider no contact as your lifeboat. It can be a moment of profound revelation. For them, yes, but most of all for you. And in this revelation, You may discover that the final piece of the puzzle was always your willingness to disengage from a dance that left you breathless, clinging to a waltz that never quite reached its climax. So take a pause, step aside, and observe what happens when you remove yourself from the chase. You just might be astonished at who follows and who doesn't. Either way, the clarity you gain is worth far more than the heartbreak of a one-sided pursuit. But that, my friends, is the curious alchemy of silence. Thank you for listening. May your revelations guide you toward a healthier, more balanced dance in all your relationships. And remember, sometimes silence speaks volumes that words never could.
If you believe this video might help someone dear to you, share it with them. A small gesture on your part could mean the world to a friend in need. If you believe this video might help someone dear to you, share it with them. A small gesture on your part could mean the world to a friend in need.